Oh, guys, I gotta tell you, Sundays, I just want to say I so appreciate Pastor Mark, Sam, Daniel, Brian this coming week. Just the break that I've been given to be able, not just to take a break, because preaching is my passion. I love doing it. I love being able to teach and just talk about what Jesus is doing in my heart, my life, and share his word. But a chance to just walk around and be with people and talk with people and give hugs and hear what's going on in people's lives. Thank you. So many of you have come up and said, hey, I'm praying for you, praying for your wife. I think yesterday, it's been 2 years since we moved to Lincoln. 2 years ago today, we pulled up in some friend's driveway that we live with. What was supposed to be for 4 weeks ended up for 3 months. But we were reflecting on it, and just the thing I was saying to Lynn is it's just so unbelievable to read the Bible and read what a church is supposed to be. And right now I'm studying 1 Corinthians, and in anticipation of our fall study that we're going to start August 15th, and just thinking about, man, what if this church was real? And then looking at our church and going, it feels real. That it's not about the things we do or the programs we run or even trying to look like a church in the Bible, but instead just following Jesus, listening to his Spirit, being guided by him. And I think that that's the thing that's difficult, is when we actually look at the life of Jesus, when we actually think about what it means to be a Christian, we have a tendency to view that through our type A, entrepreneurial, American mindset of, here are the things that I do in order to be a Christian. In fact, if you were to ask yourself that question, if somebody was to ask you today, are you a Christian? Or how do you know you're a Christian? How would you answer that? I think for most of us, we start reeling off a list of things that we do. I go to church, I give, I read, I do, like we start listing off I, and it's just interesting because Christianity doesn't begin with I, it begins with Jesus. It begins with Christ. And so in turn, I found myself this morning struck by a quote in a book I'm reading that's a conversation between John Ortberg and Dallas Willard. And one of the things that's just a staple of Dallas Willard's ministry and life is that hurry is the greatest enemy of the spiritual life. I felt it this morning, right? Don't you kind of feel it? I got stuff to do. I got to move. And in turn, like, praying becomes really quick and intense of, God, thank you for these eggs. Help me to have a great day. Help my kids to do well. Amen. And we just move. We go. Check, check, check. Reading becomes what's the most efficient, condensed way. And like when our motivation is efficiency, I wonder if we lack depth and experience. And yet the constant call of the Bible is seek the Lord, wait for the Lord, listen to the Lord, be with the Lord. And at the end of the day, like, it's kind of one of those things where I can imagine my marriage looking at Lynn and saying, well, I vacuumed today, I wrote you a note today, I made sure I got the kids to their events today, and her coming back and saying, well, I did this, and I did this, and I did this. But we never sat and were with each other. Did we take the time to hug? Did we peck, or did we actually kiss? Did we say I love you as a response that we don't even remember? Like, think about this. Like, do you remember what you prayed for yesterday? I often wonder, I'm like, how do I know whether or not God's answering my prayers if I can't even remember what they are? Am I aware of the most important conversation I'm having of the day, which is between me and Jesus? Am I aware of how the Spirit's speaking to my heart? Am I taking time to listen? I guess I'm just thinking about that on this Monday and thinking about it from a standpoint of, am I allowing my life to be dictated to me by the world, and yet I'm angry at holding God at arm's length because I'm afraid he's going to dictate the world to me? And isn't that ironic and messed up? Isn't that maybe what Paul's talking about in 1 Corinthians of the wisdom of the world versus the wisdom of God? Is we constantly allow the wisdom of the world to disciple us, to dictate to us, to tell us what to do. But God, we're afraid. We're afraid of letting the one who created the world tell us how to live in the world. We're afraid of letting the one who is love teach us how to love ourselves and love others. We're afraid of the one who is faithful and steadfast, calling us to daily, regularly, constantly be in prayer with him. The one who breathed us into life, we're afraid is going to take our life. All the while, the deception is that sin has taken our life from us. That Jesus is the one that comes to give life, to restore life, to renew life, to breathe fresh into our lungs. And so, even right now, it's like, well, what do I do then? Sit. In fact, when we get done praying, what if you just sat for 5 minutes and thought about Jesus? God, thank you so much that you're always near, that you're always speaking, you're always working, you're always caring. God, we're always trying to be moving. We're anxious and antsy, and God, we're afraid to be still, to be silent, to be in solitude. And so, God, I pray on a Monday where we got to go. We got 5 days of work ahead of us, and we need to get after it. I pray that we would replace sweat equity with spiritual experiences, spiritual depth. That we become more aware of our connection with you, of your love for us, of your grace. God, I want to know your character. I want to know your voice. I want to know who you are. And so, God, I wait, and in your word I hope. God, I wait, not holding on for dear life, but holding on to you. God, I listen with anticipation that you will speak. God, I pray that you'd help me to be ruthless in my elimination of hurry from my life. I need healing and I need help. And it's in your son's name I pray. Amen. Guys, I love you. I'm so excited about what's coming up this fall. In fact, today, if you'd be praying from 9:30 to 11 in the high school room at church, going to be meeting with any of our LPS teachers, administrators, custodians, anybody that was part of FFC Loves LPS last year. We love Norris. We love Lincoln Christian. We love other schools as well. But we just really want to be intentional in where are the majority of our people, where are the majority of our kids, where are the majority of those that are our neighbors that we're seeking to love and minister to and just share Christ with, where are they at, and how can we be a part of loving them without an agenda? Last year was amazing to hear the stories that have taken place, to think about the generosity. And so if you're fit in that demographic, you're a teacher, you're an administrator, you're a custodian, you're invited. Even if you didn't get my email, even if somehow you got lost in the mix, we're sorry about that. But show up 9:30 to 11. We're just seeking to say, hey, how did last year go? And how would you suggest we get involved this year? If you're a parent that's interested in that, if you're just somebody who's going, man, I don't know how to get involved, but this sounds like something that I'm intrigued with, that is a way to meet people where they're at and in their daily life, we'd love to invite you to be a part of that. There's going to be donuts, there's going to be coffee. If we got to split the donuts in half because we didn't get enough, we'll do that. But we'd love to see you. Be praying for that, please. And then also baptisms this weekend. Shoot me an email, shoot me a message. Love to talk with you about what it would look like to be a part of that experience for you. So love you guys. Praying for you. Pray for me.